Hi, it's T with Teaquilts, and today is Saturday, August 28th, 2021. We're here for the live sewing chat. Today we're going to be working on our Hey June project, which is a pattern by GE Designs. They had it out as a free pattern during the month of June, and I missed that. So I am just figuring it out as I go along from watching the video. So there are videos up for this design if you want to do this as well. So let's see. I'm going to pull you all up on my cell phone here while we wait for other people to come in. And also, I wrote some notes down. I'm going to go get those too. Let's see here. So this is a very simple design. Just need to match the correct fabric with the correct fabric. So don't want to mess that up. Let's see.
It's time to get back together.
All right, turn notifications off, volume down, and I think I'm ready. So let's see who's in the chat room tonight. We got Darcy Savali. Hi, T and everyone. I am not going to be here tonight because I am at my mom's. I still wanted to remind everyone to give T a thumbs up. Isn't that sweet? Craft with Love 55 says greetings, T and all from Hot Virginia. Let's thumbs up on our way in. Thank you so much for that. Sandra Agger says greetings from Hot California, Tea and Quilters. Sin Forrest says hi everyone from finally cooking down a smidge in California. It must have been really hot. Elaine Doucette says that's so nice, Darcy. Jennifer Mizard says hi Tea and friends. Teresa McCormick says good evening Tea and Tea Quilters. Glad to be with you. And Janice Miller says good evening from Baking, South Carolina. Since change device, saying everyone thumbs up and that the device she's on is better. Vicki Lemire saying hello. Quiltigram says hello T and T Quilters. Celia Swain says hello T and fellow quilters. Quilting friends, sorry. Ursula Moore says hello from Atlanta, Georgia. Sharon Lewis says hi T and Quilters. Let's see. Deborah Sims Brown says hi T and everyone from Maryland. Vivian Calvi says hi T and everyone. Ella Odom, good evening Miss T and everyone from Hot California. A lot of Cali residents in here. Elaine Butler says hi T and Quilt family. Hope all is well and staying safe. Good evening fellow quilters and T from C-Rax. Vanessa Brown says hello T and T Quilters. Working on getting some long arming done tonight. That's pretty cool. Deborah Huey is here saying hi T. Hi to you as well, Debbie. Ursula Moore is here. Claudette Bettis, hello T and everyone. Cool gal, hi T and everyone from humid Maryland. Katrina, hello Miss T and friends. Sorry I'm late. You're fine. Maxie Doodle says hello from Florida. Prayers for everyone in Louisiana. Yes. Dolores Felt says hi everyone. Good evening to T and T Quilters. Ready to start the evening. Judy is here saying hi T and everyone. Shawina Tillis says good evening to all. Welcome to the channel, Shawina. I don't remember seeing your name before. Appreciate you stopping in. Please hit the subscribe button as well and then that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I go live and or upload videos. Appreciate you stopping in. Cynthia Shades here saying good evening to all from Chicago. Cynthia Maria Field says hello from Baldwin, Long Island, just resting on the couch. Hi, Cynthia. Same welcome to you as well. Slowing Down Joe says hello to you and all. Kevin the Quilter says evening, you all from the hot and humid and steamy show me state of Missouri. This is our beloved reigning queen of scraps. May she reign forever. Hey, T Quilters. So Kevin's here. We got to see him yesterday. He actually came to my house. So I will go ahead and just make a brief announcement. Not going to answer any questions. Kevin and I have decided that we're going to do a sew along. It was a pattern that we saw on the trip. And so we're thinking about starting in September. And so I'll do a brief video upload where I'll share what pattern we're using. So if you want to participate, you can do it as well. So Kevin and I are going to be once a month, we're going to do a block once a month. And then we're going to just do a sewing live chat maybe. Haven't decided when. It could be on Saturday at some time. And we just have to figure out the time because I have to get back home so I can do Saturday live at 8 p.m. So just be looking forward to that. We're hoping to do our first sew along in September. On these videos, we're not going to be giving out any cut instructions because there's a pattern. So as I said, I'm going to do a brief video just telling you what we're going to sew along with so that if you want to participate, you can get a pattern. And I'll try to see if I can contact the company and see if I can get patterns as well. So we will be dealing with that later. Sue is here. Hi, Sue. She says, hello, Tea and Quilters. Hope everyone had a great week. Janet Mackerel. My screen is jumping. Don't do that. Hold on. Let's see. Janet Mackerel says, hello, Tea and all. Seeing Forrest goes, the K-man is now in the house. Tiffany is here. She says, Tiffany's Quilting Life says, hi, T and friends. I am having dinner at the same time, so I will be listening. My niece, Lisa Thompson's here, says hello. And also thinking of my niece, my mom should be watching tonight, so this is the first time she's getting to see me live, but she probably will not be commenting. And her handle just cracked me up today. I didn't even know that my niece had set her up on YouTube, and she's got a pretty cute little name for an 80-plus-year-old woman. It is too funny. Tom Eckery says, howdy, T and T Quilters. Wash Your Hands says, hi, all from Northern California. Yay, a sew along? Yes. Virgie says, hello, T and everyone. Barbara Polk says, hi, everyone. My computer was acting up. Hopefully it's working now. Connie is here saying hello. Just realized you were live. Just started. And June Hansen says hi, T and everyone. Bonita Nan says hi, Miss T and everyone. Francis Jackson. Hello, T and T Quilters. And Kevin go, hey, Miss T's mama. So nice to meet you today. Yes, I took Kevin to go meet her. Denise Sopatch 33 says hello. Hello, Lisa and Mom. That's from Sin. Maxie Doodle, hi, T's mom. And Vicky Lemire says hi, T's mom. Amelia Rubio says yellow. I don't know what that's about. Just yellow. Kathy Warren is here saying hi. Hi, Kathy. Welcome to the channel as well. I don't remember your name. Hopefully, I'm not mistaken, but welcome to the channel as well. Hello, Miss T and everyone from Amelia. Tiffany Scott says, hi, T and Kevin Pooh. That's right. Hi, Scott. Kevin is laughing out loud at that, too. That is too funny. And Tiffany says, hi, T's mama. Judy Plaster, hello from Northern California, capping at Fort Bragg today. That's pretty cool. Hi, T's mom from June. Hi, Miss T mom. Your daughter is fantabulous. That's from Bonita. You're so sweet. Thank you. OMG, you and Kevin in a sew along. Hilarity will follow. We're not going to be entertaining you guys. Now, if it should accidentally happen, it'll accidentally happen. But we're having just a sew along. And it is so funny. We say that and then something always happens. But some of these could be boring months. Some could be good months. We'll see, won't we? We shall see. You all been wanting Kevin on the channel at least once a month, so we figured this is Kevin's idea to do this sew along. We both, Kevin actually bought the pattern for both of us, so I'll be contacting them and see if I can get them and sell them so I can have them. But this is a way, it wasn't Kevin's idea to do a sew along with you all. He wanted to do a sew along with me. And I'm saying if that's going to happen, let's just go ahead and kill two birds with one stone. So we shall see. Betsy Lighton says, hello, Miss T and Mr. Kevin. Hi to you as well. Kevin, laughing out loud, Sue, we're going to have fun. We are going to have fun, but we're going to try not to cut up. That's the main thing. Patricia Calucio says, hey, T and all. North Carolina here, Fort Bragg. Yes. Sin says, hi to all. I ran to kitchen to stir a pot of vegetable soup. That's thicker than soup, but thinner than stew. Laughing out loud. That's funny. Vivian, I would like to have a pattern as soon as you get them to. You don't know what we're doing yet, but that's okay. I'm going to be contacting them and see if I can get some patterns for us. So we shall see. Let's see. But I got you, Vivian. Just always supporting me. I really appreciate that. Tom says, as long as T keeps her British accent in check, it should be okay. Right. That was terrible. Woo-wee. Okay. The blocks. I started this project in June. Things were still happening in my life, but I started it anyway, knowing I shouldn't have started it in June. And then once I started cutting, I realized that maybe I needed to have that stripology ruler. And I did buy the stripology ruler from GE Designs. It's actually, I forget the name of the company now. It's Creative Grids make the ruler, but it is stripology is GE's design of the ruler that Creative Grids make. So it is her ruler. It's just that it's made by Creative Designs. So I purchased that through Amazon while I was on the road trip because I was figuring it was so hot. Why buy a ruler? I can just buy it online and have Amazon ship it to me because nobody had it for cheaper anyway. And if I bought it in person, I was actually going to spend more money because I would have had to pay tax. And then also travel with it the entire time in a heated car. So I just had Amazon just ship it to my house. So I have the ruler. These are the blocks that we're making. And the ruler does a lot more than just what we're doing in these blocks. But I just wanted the ruler. So I have it. And I will be comparing the stripology ruler to the regular strip ruler that I have, because I do have the other brand, but her ruler has a lot more markings on it. So I'll let you all know the difference. It also costs a lot more money, but there are some differences in the ruler. So I'll be talking about that as well. Kraft says, welcome, Team Mom. So good to have you on a live to see how much of a help your beautiful daughter helps us quilters. That's nice. Quiltigram, love that ruler, works great. She's talking about the stripology ruler. So I have 8 blocks here, and my goal is to make 8 more. And I hope I got enough pieces cut because I really didn't count. I just cut another strip set. So hopefully I have enough pieces so that I can piece this together. Craft with Love says, show us the ruler. It's at my cutting station. I will go get it, but let me not just dip right back out of here. The ruler is amazing. Love it. Leetta Bryant here says, hi, TNT Quilters. I tell you what, I'm going to go get it. Because people are saying that the ruler is great. And make sure you all see it. I wasn't planning on even using it tonight. I'm just making the blocks before I have to actually cut tonight. But let me go get it since you all are asking. So this is the ruler. It's just a slotted ruler, just like the June Taylor Shape Cup Plus. And I have the shorter version of the June Taylor in 12 inches, and I think they have another one that goes up to 18. I have that one as well. But I will be doing a different video on them, just telling you what I feel some of the differences are. And you can't see any of these lines because it's not up against anything. But you can see where you've got these slotted, see the slots up in here now behind the paper. But I'll be doing something, hopefully maybe I can find a piece of black batting when I, or I don't know if even black's gonna work because it's got black lines on it. But this is the actual ruler. It's similar to the Shape Cup Plus by June Taylor. However, it has a lot more markings on it than what's on the original ruler. And that's the reason why I decided to go ahead and get it and test it out. Now, I have not used it for this technique yet because I was working on, I bought this ruler while we were on our trip at the end of July. So when I came back from the trip, we started working on a panel quilt, and then I also have edited videos from our trip, and then I've also edited and made a quilt that I uploaded for you all, as well, a second panel quilt. So I've been pretty busy this month and haven't had time to do anything with that. Connie said, that's a cute block, so nice. Your mama can watch the live. We love your daughter. She brings brightness. She brightens our spirits every week. Well, thank you, Connie. Jennifer says, absolutely love my stripology ruler. It stays within reach at my cutting station. I never put it away, and that's exactly where I have it, at my cutting station, so that I can just easily grab it. Like, I do die cut a lot, but if I need just 4 2.5 inch strips and I've got just enough fabric to cut it a little bit, like a 1/4 inch more than what I need of 10 inches, then I use this instead of going through and pulling out the whole AccuQuilt die. So I do still cut a few strips if I only need a few to finish off a project or something. I do use my Shape Cut Plus, and now I've been pulling out my stripology ruler for the last month. So I have been using it, trying to get used to it. So when I do a comparison, I can do an accurate comparison. June says she has the small one and she likes her. So she has the smaller stripology. There is 2 different kinds. I got the larger one because I just said if I'm going to buy it, I'm only buying it once. And Sin says what Connie said. That's so sweet. You guys are nice. Tinanji Roberts says, good evening all. Hi T, welcome. Cynthia says, it's big. Yes, it is. The June Taylor one goes up to 18 inches, and every once in a while I need that 18.5 and never have it. This one goes up to 20 inches, and I really love that. Great. I'm going to need a bigger cutting table. If you have the 24 by 36 mat, I think everybody should have that size mat. It seems to work well for cutting anything you want to cut. Once you get that size mat, you don't need a mat bigger than that for real. But I do like my long arm where I've got longer mats when I'm measuring out backs and stuff like that. So I'm going to put these squares to the side. Those are, I'm supposed to pick 40s or something. I don't know. I know I got more than I need. I'm only making 8 blocks. I couldn't decide how many blocks I wanted to make. I was going to do 12, but I'm thinking maybe I'll go ahead and just do 16. Now I've already got these sorted in pairs because I was going to do them in pairs, but I'm just going to chain piece these through. Change my mind. I just got to make sure I put them to the right thing, I guess. And that would be, so this is my accent fabric. I guess I need to sort those out. I'll just do one set at a time. But I had them all set up to do like one block at a time, which is kind of how I was piecing them when I first started, when I was watching the videos. I was just doing one at a time. And it was like I missed the free pattern by a day. But I'm like, her videos were pretty good that you could definitely figure it out. So I've got 8. I'm trying to make sure. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think I did cut enough. Just trying to make sure I cut enough. Tiffany says she has not used any of those specialty rulers. Sin says I share a cutting table with a bossy cat, laughing out loud. You got that right. They can be bossy. Ellen Campbell of Ellen Campbell Creation says, hello, T and all quilting friends. Hi, Ellen. How come this piece look like it's a little bit shorter than it should be? Let's see. These should be 5 inches. I didn't write that part down. Let me see what I got this one cut at. So it looked like I got my green pieces cut a little bit too long. So let me go to the bottom and see if they're all, you know how sometimes you just do one set. They're about 1/8 of an inch too long. So I'm just going to have to cut that off. Already out the gate making adjustments, right? Let you all know, this stuff happens to people all the time. When you're live, you can't cut it out. Not that I would for you all, because I let you all see that things happen, but some people will cut it out. So I've already got to make some adjustments. I'm just going to stack a few of them since I'm only cutting off 1/8 and just make my life a little easier right here. Get a ruler. Different pattern right there. So we just want 5 inches. So I may as well go ahead and check them off. And you know what? I did probably cut this with the Stripology ruler. And that might be why it's a little off. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like cutting unless it scraps with the rulers, is because when you have a slotted ruler, it's hard to get an accurate cut. But I'm going to put this up here. Let's see. So I'm going to have to see if I can test that ruler against regular cutting too, I guess. Just to make sure, because I thought I cut this with Stripology, but I want to make sure. I'm going to do it with both the June Taylor and the Stripology ruler when I do my test video. But it's hard to test something like that. You need to do a lot, work with it a lot, so I don't want to do a premature video on it. So it will be a while. Another 5-inch cut here. All right, so all of these green ones are now at 5 inches. Quilt Gal says, well, longer is better than too short. You got that correct. All that make you want to do is cry. Now, I'm hoping that this will work because I haven't sewn anything today. I didn't even oil today, to be honest. So if it's loud, it's my fault. I got that paper on my flywheel. All right. So we're just going to shoot these through. Let's see. Go back and make sure I got everybody in here. I got Ellen. Deborah says she also has a ruler measuring up blocks. That is the one I have. Yeah, that's included on this ruler. When you buy the larger version, you can square up to 12.5 inch blocks. So that's on this ruler that I have. Miss T is real. That's Kevin. um, Hi, Elizabeth Michelin. She says, hi. Hi, welcome to the channel. Not sure if you've been here before. I don't remember your name. Appreciate you commenting. And seeing is saying less than half of us have thumbs up. She says, come on, everyone. It helps T's videos get out far and wide and feed the algorithm. Thanks. Thank you, Sin. She is so correct. You know, I've been having, I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but to be honest, I haven't been making money in the last few months. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. My videos are being watched the same, but my ad revenue is, it's like cut in half in the past maybe 3 or 4 months or so. But I don't worry about YouTube. I just keep doing what I do. But I have noticed a major decrease in funding. I think when I was in May, you all gave me super chats, and then July, of course, because it was my birthday, you all did super chats. And so that's the only reason I got money. Every other month, they have sent me a check for $100 and something. Okay. That's it. That is it. And think about all the videos I uploaded in July with the with our shop hop and stuff, or in August, and I'm still only at like $130 for the month of August. So, because I uploaded all of those videos in August. So it's just weird. Weird. So I've got these I gotta sew together too. Gotta pull them out of the stack. Okay. Francis T, what pattern are you using? I'm using GE Designs pattern called Hey June. So if you want the pattern, you can go buy the pattern, or you can Google on YouTube and see if you can follow her videos. I think she did a video in 6 parts. I can't remember exactly how many it went up to, but I started just by doing from the videos. I was a day late when I went over to the site and clicked on it. She was actually on the sewing day, and she was actually live with the instructions and stuff. But the people had already gotten the pattern. I was on that Friday, and it started Saturday, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I was able to do what I've done so far anyway. So I'm basically just sewing strip sets together. One of these is considered my background, which is the green. The green is considered my background. And the other one is a light and a dark, or whatever you're choosing. So. Hi, Diane57. She says hi to everyone. Memoirs of a Longhorn Quilter says, hey, T and everyone. Hi, Stephanie. Welcome. Hope you're feeling better soon, Diane. I see comments. I'm just not going to read those today. And people are saying that they're going to keep you in their prayers. Peggy O'Connor is here saying, hi, TNT Quilters. Happy to catch a live. Hi, Peggy. Okay. Get some snips here. Snip this apart. I'm going to have to do the same to my long pieces. Sew those together end to end as well. I got more pieces, but we will start with these. That over there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just press this with a wooden iron. On my dark pieces, I'm going to be pressing the seam away from the background, which is my green. So that means I'm pressing it towards my dark fabric according to her instructions, which is my coral. Just so I don't forget later. And then my other set, I actually press toward the background. Kathy Quilts and Crafts is here. Welcome to the channel. I don't see your welcome comment. My screen's flying by. Go back and find it later. And this one with a light, I'm pressing toward the light. No, I'm pressing to the background. Sorry. So I need to turn this whole stack over. And I really liked how when she did her video presentation that she had different fabric choices that she used. And me, I just pulled a layer cake that I had used, had some extra pieces left over, and then I added some fabrics to it. Just trying to get rid of some pieces I had from a previous project. All right, got that one still on here. And I have long pieces now. I need to do the same thing, sew these together on the short ends. Let's see. Let me go back and see. Kathy Quilt says, hello, T, and all of my quilting friends. I think she was the only one I missed up at the top. And Cian says she'll be back. She's off to go feed her face. Deborah says, advice. I have a quilt that I want to use the backing that is already on the back of my quilt for my binding. Will I have to square the quilt? I would have to square the quilt up, right? I have a quilt that I want to use the backing that is already on the back of my quilt for my binding. Will I have to square the... Yes, you will have to square the quilt up to get your binding fabric off. I do that sometimes. Even though I know you can flip it to the front if you want. I'm not one of those people that flip from the back to the front and sew it down. I still like to sew my binding down. But yes, you can. But you can, if you didn't overstitch where it's going to show on your binding. I tend to overstitch because I want to be quilted edge to edge. So I will just square up my quilt and then square up the fabric that I want to cut into binding and cut it into 2.5-inch strips. But if you didn't overstitch, then you could just pull it to the front and do a double fold. So you don't have to, but that's how I would do it based on how I quilt. I never stop right at the edge. I go a little bit further, like 1/4 of an inch. And sometimes, as you're quilting, quilts draw up and you have a little bit more, especially on my long arm. I start out at one thing and it changes because as I'm quilting, the quilt is drawing up. So this is the easy part, step 1 and step 2. Thanks, Tiffany. Tiffany is welcoming everybody into the chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. She's also reminding you all to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Oops. My thread just vibrated off the top of my thread on my ruler rack. I don't know how many of these do I have. 2, 4, 6, 8. Just want to make sure I didn't have an extra one cut. Feel like I've been sewing them for a while. So if I overstitch, will it not work or look bad? If you overstitch, when you fold it to the front, some of the stitching might show on the front side of the binding. It just depends on how much you overstitch, Deborah. Virgie says, T, how wide is your quilting machine? 10 inches, 12, or 10 inches. How wide is your quilting machine? Oh, it's a 12 foot. She means feet. She want to know how long. I got a 12 foot. Which is important to know. 12 foot is 144 inches, but that's from the outside edge to the outside edge. So you got to keep that in mind when you're saying how much of a quilt you can quilt. And then me personally, I don't quilt the largest quilt that I can quilt on my machine, and that's because I like to be able to gain access to each side of my machine. So if I need to change bobbins, thread break, need to clean the machine, something malfunctions, I got access to the quilt top from both sides of my quilt top, of my quilting frame. So I personally don't like to go more than say 110, 12 inches. I could quilt more. I like being able to use both sides. So it's not like I can't do it. And then you got to remember, I can put the quilt on either way, from top to bottom. I can put my top to bottom, like my lengthwise on the frame, or I can just put my top and bottom on each frame, so I can put my quilt on either way. So it just depends on what's the longest side is how I put it on. And then also the pattern that I'm quilting. Sometimes the pattern will be sideways. And sometimes it doesn't matter. So it just depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I have to load where I put the top up at the, across my bar, my take-up bar. But I try to put the longest part of the quilt on the take-up bar. First thing I always do, Tiffany. That way I don't forget. Thank you, Kathy. She says she thumbs up. Okay, I think I made it in this time. That's Diane still. Norma Ozia, hi. She says, good morning, quilt friends. Pray all is safe. Hello to you. Welcome. Got 2 more of these to do. Vivian Cabby is already saying good night. See, I moved it up an hour. Good night, Vivian. My watch is telling me I got sewing chat live. I'm already here. That's because it's still set for 9 p.m. Sue says, hey, Kevin, I was. That's pretty cool. Kevin is saying, if anybody else want like to donate to the Kevin the Quilter Needs a Long Arm Fund, feel free, laughing out loud. And then Sue says that Kevin the Quilting Marine got his Bernina 770 that way. Almost finished here. And still got one on my machine. I'll press it later. So these get pressed toward the dark same way as the smaller units. Hey, Deborah. Deborah Quilt is here. She's saying hello, T and fellow quilters. And Diane 57 talking about it isn't Betty bedtime night or Betty bedtime yet. Something similar to that. Phyllis G is here. Hello to you. She says hi, T and everyone. Some people, I know when we're at retreat, I have some people that they leave, they're out by 9 and they just go to bed early. And those are the people that are up by 5 and 6, back in. Me, I go to bed about 3 or 4, maybe if I'm going to sleep. Some nights I've done all nighters. And whenever I go to bed 3 or 4, I'm back in there by 6:30. And I don't even worry about the breakfast sometimes, because breakfast is to me, it's not a meal I eat every day anyway because of my sleep pattern. So I do eat breakfast foods, but I may not necessarily eat them at breakfast. So, and it's not one of their favorite things that they fix, in my opinion, breakfast. I can skip breakfast. So these go the other way. Okay with you all. I did not reboot my phone today. Kathy says, good luck and prayers heading your way, Diane 57. Kevin's, uh-oh, I'm out now. It told me. All right. It popped me back in for some reason. I'm surprised. But I didn't reboot today. And I was looking at Netflix. So I don't think I left my, Netflix shouldn't be affecting YouTube. Because I don't hear myself on my desktop or my television. So that's good. All right. So all I've done, I'm not going to even press with an iron at this point. Just got these pieces here. And we are now going to be sewing these onto some squares. So I got to figure out what I'm sewing to what. I think I got more squares here than I need. 1, 2. I don't think I separated which ones I wanted to use, because I need 4 darker ones and 4 lights. So let's see. I think if I'm making 8. So I got to pick those out. And I guess I want to be more colorful. So we'll do that. 2, 3, and I don't think I want to use beige. See what I've already used here. Yeah, I don't want any brown. Get that out the way. Okay, and so then I need 2 prints and 2 in a single. So we'll just do that. How many of these do I have? How hard is it to pick 4 fabrics, right? These are 4 lights. And I need one more. Maybe I'll do this one. All right. These are going to be extra. I was going to make a whole lot of blocks originally, but 16's good. All right, I think we're going to start with the lights first. Just want to make sure we do this right. So we'll do the lights first. And I have decided that I wanted half my blocks to have this fabric in it. This fabric here. So I've got 2 of those and then 2 different lights. All right. So now we're going to sew those short pieces onto here. These were 10-inch squares, and we trimmed these down to 9 1/2. Okay. So we don't want the lights. We want the dark with accent. Craft with Love says, Kevin, I want a long arm, and my husband said if I can have one, but the catch is I don't have anywhere to put it, laughing out loud. You got that right. Got to figure it out. I'm sure Kevin is saying, she can store it at my house. So these are my lights. I'm just sewing on my darken accent to the lights. And we'll be doing the reverse to the, this is considered my light because I'm sewing the light blocks that are in the center. So this is my block A, and then your block B is just the darker fabric in the center. Yeah, Kevin did say, would you like to store it at my house? She said, sure, that's a plan, laughing out loud. T, I like the blocks you did so far. They are pretty. Yes, well, thank you. Just getting rid of, as I'm moving stuff around, like I had just used this. Actually, the quilt that I used this pack in, I needed more. You know how when you buy packs of fabrics that are pre-cut, you have some that you just can't use because of contrast. And so I had 2 of this same pack, so I had to go into another pack. So I'm just trying to use those final pieces that I didn't use in the other one. And then I've added some other fabric as well. Okay, so let me cut that off so I can flip it around, do the other side, do the exact same thing. So basically I'm just putting a frame on, but they're piece frames. And I just press with my wooden iron, and then at the end when I get the block sewed, then I go over and press everything with my heated iron. So we're going to now do this on the other side. That's a long one. Take this one off. My friend Miss T knows me so well, laughing out loud. Tee hee hee. Yes. Also, I just purchased my upgrade for my Bernina, and I'm going to take it in next Thursday. So it will be in the shop for 2 to 3 weeks, they said. And also, I need for them to buy a part, so I've kind of like let them know ahead of time that I need a part, and they only order once a week, so I'm hoping that I can get it back within that time frame with the part that I need. So I wanted to let them know before I dropped it off. I actually went Thursday and talked to them, letting them know that it's just time for its regular 1 year maintenance. I do take my machines in, even though I clean them, and I clean. I think probably other than Tiffany, I clean more than most folks clean because I go in here, clean, and I oil. Um, so yeah. But I don't take my machine apart like Tiffany does. But I do take mine in for a deep clean by a professional once a year. The one I piece on the most. This one over here, it just does embroidery. I clean it, and then if it gives me any troubles, I take it in. But my regular piecing machines, I tend to take in once a year if I use them on a daily. So I've used this machine since I gotten it. Uh, Probably toward the end of September. It was in the shop early part of September. So I just want to make sure I keep it serviced. Um, Crap with Love said, yes, she does, laughing out loud. I'm down to 3% power, so I'm going to have to running out of time. Good night, Diane. Sorry about your time. Um, Hope her tablet holds out. See, I've tried. If you don't get that thing plugged in early enough, it will run down. Ellen saying good night. I'm cramping and my hand is very, very tired. Night, night. Good night, Ellen. Hope you feel better too. Dora Camarina says hi, T and friends from California. Hi, Dora. Sheila Willis says, what will the upgrade entail for the machine? I can't remember them all, but there are videos on that. But the ones that I am most wanting is to have where my actual feet, the foot that I have on my machine is the actual foot that's showing on the screen, which I never understood why it didn't come with that in the first place, because it drove me nuts when I first got it. And I kept thinking something was wrong with the machine. And it ended up that it was just not a feature on this, but it's a feature on the 880 or the H series. or maybe even the plus models. This is just a 770. I don't know if there's a difference in a 770 plus or not, but that's what I'm getting upgraded to, is the 770 plus. I think that's what they're calling it. And then the other feature is in machine embroidery, where you can do pinpoint placement. I think that feature is really cool too, and I did not have that. I don't need those. I want to put these over there for a minute. They're done. I'm working on my dark centers now. So those are two features that I know I like, but there is also another foot included with it as well. I can't remember what that is because that wasn't my main feature. I had a couple of things, but it does do some things that I was interested in, and I just didn't want the machine to be behind. $3 weeks, yikes. Yep. Some shops around here, if you don't, especially since a lot of people are now sewing, shop wait times have increased. And then you've also got to remember that shops are down in how many people, um, are working in the shops too. Some people lost staff. Some places even closed. So it's a little bit different now since we've been in this pandemic. So, yep. But it's not like I don't have another favorite machine. I love my baby lock, Elagio. She will just come back out and sit here and be your new friend. Your new old friend returning. So she's already upstairs. I have her in a storage, a two-toe bag, and she sits under my long arm. So whenever I need her, she's close. She's the one that I take anyway when I go quilting, when I'm going out for quilting. So she's always packed up, ready to go. So and Diane's also giving prayers for those that are dealing with the hurricane. Exactly. I haven't been keeping up with the news too much on that. COVID has kind of ruined me from watching the news. I stopped watching it when it was at its peak, and now it's hard for me to go back to watching the news. So Kevin says, Miss T, do you make your quilt labels on your Bernina? No, because I make my quilt labels back here because it's just simplistic stuff. And if you're asking me, do I stitch them out on the Bernina or this? I stitch them out over here. I don't make my labels on here. I just bring my file and stitch it. I actually have old designer gallery software called Custom Works that I make my labels in, just so I'm not punching in all those letters at my machine. So I do it on my desktop. But I stitch them out over here. And the reason why I do that is I can be stitching my label and I can be sewing over here. This machine is always set up for machine embroidery. This machine will embroider if I want to do something special, or when I open up my embroidery sweatshop. Some embroidery designs, especially if you're doing in the hoop, you may have two hoopings. So what I do is I always keep two embroidery machines. I'll do part 1 over there and be doing part 2 over here when I'm doing a lot of machine embroidery. That's why I have more than one embroidery machine. I opened up the Teaquilt sweatshop. So this one is my dark center. These seams get pressed in toward the square. Virginia is also giving prayers for anyone with anything. That's right. Just cover all your friends, even those that don't even know they need prayer. Sometimes you don't even know stuff is happening in the universe. So, Craft says, I make sure I am all the way powered up before I come on for the live. And too nosy not to know what's going on in Teaquilts, laughing out loud. Yeah, it's like a couple of times I have forgotten to charge my iPad for the Zoom, and it's like I don't want to use my phone because it's too little. And then I'm just sitting there watching my power tick away on that Zoom meeting. It takes a lot of power. So when I know I gotta go live, I try to put my devices on the charge before I come in here. Make sure that tablet's at 100%, but I can't seem to figure that out for Zoom for some reason. Deborah says, I was bad and ordered some new machine embroidery thread from Amazon Prime. Got it today. That's pretty cool. I got a brand of thread I want to try. I haven't purchased it yet, but I do want to try it for machine embroidery. Cynthia says, I like baby lock. I even have serger. Love it. Yes. So I have 2 baby locks. I have the Elissimo, and then I got the Elagio. I want to call it Elegante, but that's not what it is. The Elegante is the model before the Elissimo. So I've got these parts done. So now looking like this for my darks. So now I'm going to put the top part on. So the darks get the lighter pieces. And then you're just matching up the corner with the piece. So it's just like making a frame, but you're using 2 pieces. So that's what we're sewing together. Okay, we're basically making a frame around the block. Hurricane is headed straight for Louisiana. Yes. Virgie says, I had my machine serviced in March and just turned it in last week. 5 months later, I'm bad. Yeah, and you know, some of them do recommend that you do every 6 months. I remember the old machines, it was like take it in 6 months, but I never did take mine in for 6 months because I would clean it myself. But I always just go ahead and take it in so I can have a certified technician, you know, look over it. Nothing major. It's expensive to have machine service nowadays too. So that's another expense, especially if it's electronic. I ordered hold on. Maddie Barnum is here. She says, hi, T and everyone. Hi, Maddie. Deborah says, I got 80 new spools, 100 milligram brand new brothered. I don't know nothing about that, so that's going to be interesting. You keep us updated. Stephanie says, I had embroidery class today. I liked it, but I'm not ready to jump into it fully yet. And I just jump right into everything. I have done it all. Done all the types of embroidery that you can do. I want to do some more. I just, as I'm going through stuff, I'm not messing with the machine embroidery stuff right now, but I'm just trying to move stuff. And as I see stuff, trying to get stuff positioned. But I do want to do some embroidery because I miss it. I actually have a lecture on mostly machine embroidered stuff. And the reason why I did that was because when machine embroidery first came out, the quilters kind of snubbed their noses up at embroidery and felt like, the basic um, patterns would just have you stitch in a ditch. They never would want you to stitch over your embroideries or even close to your embroidery. But I have shown different stuff where you can quilt this if you want to. It's not going to hurt anything. And I just wanted to prove that. And so I taught that lecture at least 10 or more times. So get people to accept it a little bit better. Because I hated embroidery where you would just drop and plop something. And not all embroidery is like that. I don't know what size these blocks are. I'm just sewing from what I cut. So, like I said, this is the Hey June pattern from GE Designs. You can Google it on YouTube if you're interested. She has a pattern that you can purchase. If you're lost by looking at the videos, you can't figure it out, she has a pattern. All right. This one on. I'm just making sure my seam allowances don't get flipped. All right, we're ready for the other sides. I ordered the Embroidery Thread when it first came out. Love it. It's great. Can't beat the price. That's nice. So I have to look into that. I want an embroidery machine someday. I feel now I may want to do more than tags on in the future. Yes. And I have not even done tags. Uh, I do quilt labels, but I've never made like name tags. Flip your little self back the other way. All right. Take this one off. Should be two more I got to do with the third one down here. Those are just extra pieces. Let me toss them out the way. They keep falling. Janet asks, T, do you take orders for embroidery quilt labels? If you're talking about quilt labels where you put them on your quilt, yes. For name tags, no. June says, your quilt is going to be pretty, T. Thank you, June. Just read a couple, sew a few stitches. Kevin says he still don't know how I do it. And don't just mess it all up. That's why I had to go write a few notes for myself, because sometimes I start stitching and then it's like I can't remember what I'm supposed to do. So I just wrote notes on how I was supposed to press these seams. It's important. Connie, what model is your baby lock? Does it do embroidery too? My daughter's was baby lock and loves it. Yes, it's an Elegante. It's an older model. They don't sell it anymore. It's so old that the way I get designs into my baby lock, Elegante, no, Elagio, baby lock Elagio, it was a floppy disk, the 3.5-inch floppy disk. I have an external disk drive that I can hook up to my computer, and then I can come in here and hook it up and put the disk in here. That's how I got designs to it. So I can still use it long as you can use an external USB floppy disk drive. And then when I got my machine, knowing that the floppy disk was going out and they were going to the USB, no, the CDs. They were going to CDs. I ordered like a box of 100 floppy disks that I haven't even touched 10 of yet, okay? Because none of my floppies have died on me. So I still got a lot of them. So whenever I decide to get rid of the machine, or I know that I have everything somebody would need if I ever want to sell that machine so that they could still use it. So yes, I love it. And for a long time it was my main embroidery system. Because I have the Singer XL1000 that also embroiders, but its software is outdated. You need to be able to hook up the what they call PSWware. And my machine, my desktop won't take the software on my Windows 10. So I haven't been able to use that one recently. Vicky says, I've got a brother's embroidery machine, only does 4x4. Yeah, and that's a small area that you can't do a lot of in the hoop projects. So that's why I went to the Singer, which was like a 5x9.5 feel. When I first started embroidery, that was my size. I never did do that 4x4. I just knew that was too small. And then my baby lock went up to 6x10. So a little bit bigger than Singer. And then this Elissimo goes to 8x12. So Foth has a hoop so big you can step in it and step right on in and out of it. Pull it right over your head. That's a big hoop. It's got to be like 20 inches or something. It's huge. I don't know what the inches is on it, but it's huge. I don't know how you would keep something taut enough to stitch in that. That is just big. So again, I'm just using my wooden iron to press these. Craft says, that's what my husband wanted, an embroidery machine. I say the same thing to him that he says to me about the long room. Where is it going to go? Right. Stephanie says, I need some items embroidered though. Laughing out loud. You got that right. You got to get busy, girl. You went to the class. Deborah says, I have 2 embroidery machines, Baby Lock Elissimo Gold and Baby Lock Asante. Sin says, a lot can be done with 4x4. I started with a brother 5x7. These machines by brother are great prices too. Yes. Some of the designs have so many stitches in them, and then you want it a little bit bigger, and 4x4 it's just kind of tiny. And when you get a 4x4 feel, some machines, not all, you may not be able to stitch exactly at 4 inches. You may have to go down just a little bit, like 3.9 or something like that. So you have to be careful with that too. But I just found that I didn't like a lot of the just drop and plop type stuff. I wanted stuff that was fancy and pretty. Or I did a lot of I forget what you call them, where they're like scene quilts. They're scenes. So you make 12 or 16 or 9 blocks, and then they all go together and go into a quilt top. So I like that as well. Looking for these pieces to put on the other side here on my lights. So now we're working on the light blocks. We just finished the dark ones, and I didn't even show it to you. So I'll show you what the dark block looks like. Soon as I take it off. And we are already at 9:15. So all I planned to do today was just to sew these frames on. And then I'll probably cut off screen, because right here in this particular spot, I don't have a whole lot of cutting space. But basically, you're going to put these together and cut once diagonally and then sew them back together with a different piece. Take 2 blocks, sew them together, fold them together, and then cut them once diagonally and then sew them back. So this is what our dark block look like. It's got the light accent prints on it. This is considered background. So this one goes back here with the other ones. They'll get pressed later. And now I'm doing the light blocks with the darker coral print right there. Okay. Quiltigram says my machine also does embroidery. Love that it does both. Yes. Your machine costs a little bit more money when you're also adding the embroidery feature. And then some brands like Baby Lock, like Bernina, I'm sure like Foff and Husqvarna, you can buy a machine that embroiders, and you don't have to buy the embroidery portion when you first buy the machine. You can do the add-on later. So if it's a new machine, I would do that. I wouldn't do that for an old machine. Because, like if I hadn't had my embroidery unit for this Elysimo, I probably wouldn't be able to get it, because they don't make it anymore. So I would make sure that it's their top of the line machine, so it's going to be out there for a few years while you decide if you want to buy the embroidery unit. Because otherwise, you're going to have to start looking on eBay, places like that, and pray you're getting what you're asking for or needing. Saw a dog ear. I'm going to clip that. Get that into the trash bag. I need to meet up with my lady that takes all of my extra batting and thread stuff. I got a huge trash bag in the trunk of my car. And I filled up another Joann's bag in the house. So it's time to go. It's too much. And I don't even trim most of my customers' quilts. I only got a couple of customers that have me trim their quilts. So it's all my batting. And I'm also going through my stash and getting rid of stuff that is just, I'm like, this is just too ugly to do anything with. And I'm serious. It's like I wouldn't even send that to somebody. So yeah, I got 2 more pieces here to sew, and then all of my frames will be on my 8 blocks here. And then I'll read comments. All right. Janice says, I have an embroidered singer machine. Guess I need to do a project. Haven't for a while. Yes. I need to get doing some more stuff with that. Do we need to have the small brother PE 770? We do have the small brother PE 770, but he wants the multi 10 needle. Okay. That's different. A lot of people buy the 10 needle, they're going into business. And if you don't know what a 10 needle embroidery machine is, it's just an embroidery only machine, but you can hook up to thread 10 threads at one time through the 10 needles. And then it knows um, when it's doing its thread stops, you don't have to thread all of that. It's already hooked up for you, ready to go at the beginning. So it's pretty cool. Oh, she said that's what I mean. Quilt tags are labels. My machine only has monogram on my little brother machine. I call them tags or label if I forget to put one on. Laughing out loud. Kevin says, Miss T, trained professional multitasker, seasoned quilter, queen of scraps. Shut up. I'm going to get you. Diane says, Kevin, I'm working on my chicken fabric. That's pretty cool. Maddie says, T, I have disc with designs now. It's USB. They can be expensive. Yes. Your designs on anything in quilt, all you got to do is put quilters or scrapbookers. You name a particular group of crafters want to do something with something, and then they just put ridiculous prices on stuff. So designs are expensive. But I bought mine, like, I love Anita Good Design. And so I joined their Access Club once, and they had like a discount if you do, need a good design, go to different shops. They have representatives that go out around the country before COVID. I don't know what they're doing now, but they would have representatives that go out around the country, and you go to the local quilt shops, and they have somebody from Anita Good Design there, and they would have deals and discounts on those particular days. Most of them were 2-day workshops. And so I bought an all access club that way. And then when you sign up, you get so many designs free with signing up with that. Plus, they gave you disc of all the other old stuff. And so I've done that with, done classes like that where you get discount days with that. John Deere, I used to do a lot of, but I don't use them a whole lot anymore. And Floriani used to do a lot of that kind of stuff. So, that's kind of how I got a lot of my embroidery designs. And then I just buy 1 or 2 here and there. And then if I see something on sale that's from a major company that I like to support, then I'll buy them that way. Huh? I'm missing one. I'm missing something. I'm missing 2 long pieces. Oh, it's right here. There we go. Sew this on. And then we're done. All right. We can break this thread. So I'm going to cut this off. All right. Let's see. I quilted another quilt. If you're in the Teaquilts group, I showed you this multicolor binding that I was also working on. So I've done that. I also had quilted the Radiant Trifecta quilt, and I quilted the Fusion quilt, which I have videos of. The Radiant Trifecta I did in a 3-week sew along. It's a panel quilt. And then I also uploaded a video for new people called Fusion. That's a panel quilt as well. And it's a free pattern that's online. I give you the link for that as well. And I quilted all of those, made labels for them. Got the labels on the quilt, got the bindings on the quilt. All I need is I'm just trying to see what else am I going to finish the rest of this month before I record my August completions video. So the 31st is Tuesday, I think. Yeah, I think it's Tuesday. So I'll be recording on Tuesday. So I'm just trying to get stuff further along. So when I record that video, I can tell you all everything that I've done in the month of August. So I have been pretty busy. I did a lot of editing in the month of August, but that won't be showing in the video. So I quilted 3 quilts for Betsy. I'm thinking of Becky. I did some shopping. She sent me. She was the one that sent me the Quilted Twins online coupon. I showed you all that fabric in Tuesday's live. The Quilted Twins. Bought more pretty bright rainbow color stuff. I don't know why I'm in the rainbow right now, but I am. Loving the bright colors. Again, I'll be uploading a real quick video about the sew along that Kevin and I are going to be doing as well. Just need to contact the company first. What else? I think that's it. I haven't touched fabric this week. I'm still sorting and purging fabrics, but I have not touched any fabrics this week. I have been having fun getting stuff done, getting projects completed. I'm just surprised that I did all the work I did and still got 3 of my own projects completed, 2 of them from start to finish this month. So try to stay focused on stuff. That also means I haven't done a whole lot of desk work. I did spend one night, shall I say, middle of the night, I was answering some of the YouTube comments because I was 3 months behind. So now I'm a week behind. Yeah. I only do that at my desktop because they don't seem to take when I'm on my phone, which is sad. Doing a whole lot of commenting and they're not showing up. So this is the light block, just to show you that. I showed you a dark one. So this is the light. So ending up, what I'm going to do is pair a light with a dark. We're going to cut once diagonally, corner to corner. And then we're going to mix those 2 pieces up. And you're going to have 2 blocks that are kind of like sister blocks. Now, if you want, you can just make them scrappy and mix up whatever you want to mix up. But I'm just keeping the pairs together. Basically because it's just a project. Hoping I get it done. That's all. It was just, I don't know why I did a sew along. I was just sitting, watching her when she came on Saturday. She came on like every hour or 2 with another step. And then by the time she got to step number 4 or 5 maybe, or video number 4 or 5, because she was doing more than one step in a video, I decided maybe I should go do some of this. So I was Johnny come lately to the party, okay? Hi, Kelly A. She says, good evening, Miss T and quilting friends. Vicky says, I'm my brother. You can only get patterns online. Can't get the USB for it anymore. Now that's sad. Virgie says, save your money for one thing, one of those big embroidery machines. Yeah, you need, to me, you can do some stuff on 4x4, but I'm telling you, if you or somebody that's going to be prolific with embroidery, you're not going to be happy with a 4x4 field. You can't do a lot of in the hoop projects, which is a lot of what I do. I do a lot of in the hoop projects. What are in the hoop projects? You can make like a wallet or a coin purse. You can make luggage tags. I've made a snowman wall hanger. You can make birthday banners. All kinds of stuff you can do within the hoop that you can't do in a 4x4 field. Some stuff is not even digitized for a 4x4 field, especially nowadays. Back 10 years ago, yes, but a lot of stuff is not even made for 4x4. Poor Diane, she's on her phone now. uh, Shawina says, OMG, I thought that I was the only one still using floppy disks. I have an old Husqvarna Viking sewing machine. She works like a dream. Yes, I would never get rid of something as long as I can still get access to it. I still have my Singer, hoping that I've been in some groups and people say that they have done where they bypass Windows 10 and go into like Windows 98 or something, and they are still able to run their PSW. But I haven't figured out how to do that, and I don't know if I need to when I got two other embroidery machines. So now I got three. I got the Bernina, this baby lock, Elissimo, and the baby lock, Elagio. So I got three embroidery machines. Do I need to worry about it, the Singer, right now? Only reason I would probably worry about it if I decide to sell it, and I'm trying to sell it as an embroidery machine, and maybe I will figure it out. But right now, it's not a priority. Wash your hands says, my Janome has a huge hoops too, and I have used it for quilting because I don't have a long arm. I love it. Yes, and that's another thing that people do with embroidery machines is there are some designs that are set up to be continuous designs if you hoop, and then you have certain machines. That's where this pinpoints coming in on here. And Elissimo also has like little snowmen you can put down and tell it exactly where you want it to go stitch. It goes and finds the little snowman. And so you can do continuous stitching that way. So most embroidery designs weren't originally set up to be continuous, or machine quilting designs weren't set up to be continuous. And then when it got really popular to do your quilting on your embroidery machines, a lot of designs are now being advertised as being continuous. Some of the older ones that might be continuous was probably just a happy accident. So that was pretty cool. So yes, you can do that. Tile quilts. Yes, Cian, that's what I was talking about when I'm talking about the seams. They are tile quilts. Thank you. OMG, floppy disk. That is a hoot. Yes, and I still have it. Here is my floppy disk drive with a floppy disk in it. This is a floppy disk for these youngsters in here. And they used to have 5 1/4 discs like this. They were bigger. They were 5 inches instead of 3 1/2. That's what we started with external storage, other than like punch cards. It went to the 5 1/4 floppy disk. So this is really ancient. But hey, it still works. I get embroidery patterns from Etsy too. They work well. Yes, you can get a lot of embroidery designs online. Embroidery Library has very reasonable prices to me, and then they give you rewards for purchasing. So if you become one of the people that shop on there on a regular, and it doesn't take like a whole lot to be a regular, then they'll give you special discounts or special notices to special sales and things like that. Deborah has bought a lot of embroidery online designs and really love them. Stephanie says, I've seen some of the seamed embroidery blocks. Gorgeous, yes. Or the seam. Uh, June says, I got first border on my log cabin. I guess I can pull this over now. On my log cabin, it's so pretty. And then I need to walk and find my phone. I was in sewing room. I'm using my tablet here, but I put in the bathroom and was folding clothes. Kevin says, if liquid embroidery counts as embroidery, then I have done it. What are you talking about? Hold on, my screen jumped, guys. I don't know how far behind I was. I'm way behind. Woo, Lord. But I don't have anything else to do now but read comments. All I got to do is press my blocks. I'm going to press them with a heat press, and I don't want to get hot in here, so I'm not going to do that today. And then I'm going to cut them in half, and we'll come back next week, and I'll start sewing what I've cut in half. Diane says, beautiful fabrics. Thank you. Maddie says, I like the blocks. Thank you. Lisa, my niece, says, good night, everyone. Good night. Thank you so much. I'm more than 18 minutes, 16 minutes behind. um, I absolutely love your mint green fabric. Thank you. I should have been using that for my um, future wedding ring quilt because I did a test block with it and didn't realize that until I had cut all these pieces for this block. And I go, oh, okay. So I may have to redo something there, but we'll see. My first machine embroidery quilt was a tile quilt that T made me do. She did it along with me, laughing out loud. Yeah, she thought she couldn't do it. And she had just a 4x4 feel at the time. So she made hers in a 4x4. I think I did 5x5. And it came in 6x6. But I did the medium one, I think. And they both turned out pretty. Vicky says, it's thundering outside here. Stay safe, Vicky. Kelly says, my new Juki keeps shredding my top thread and I can't figure it out. So I walk away from it and am consoling myself on my Singer. 70 years old, still stitches like a dream. You might have a burr somewhere. It could be a burr even in your plate. So sometimes stuff like that need to be sanded. So it could even be, even if you've got the wide opening, it's kind of weird. So you just probably got something that needs to be filed down. Denise is also reminding people to hit the thumbs up. Thank you so much. Cool Gal says, Kelly, hey, you may have a nick in your throw plate or bobbin case. So yeah, so somebody's giving you some suggestions already. These are looking good. That's from Crafty with Love. Thank you. Oh my gosh. And she says it's a brand new machine that's doing that. Then if it's a brand new machine and I bought it from a quilt shop, I would take that machine back to the quilt shop and let them figure it out. If it's a new machine, it should be under warranty. That's one of the reasons why I prefer for new quilters to, if you're buying a new machine, I know you can get a cheap machine at Walmart or Target or whatever other convenience store you have in your areas. I recommend people get stuff from a shop so you can have somebody that will sit down with you on that machine, because the last thing you want to do is get frustrated and then go, I don't like quilting or sewing because of a machine that's malfunctioning. So I would most definitely go back to that shop. Thank you, Kathy, saying that the blocks are beautiful. Call the company if it's new. Have you broken any needles? And Diane says, I'm loving Southwest Fabrics. Stephanie, has anyone completed a Judy Niemeyer quilt? I have not. I'm trying to figure out if I've got any. I got some big patterns and up there on top of this tall bookcase that you all are sitting on, and it's all the way in the back. But I got some patterns like for those big fancy paper piecing arches type things, but I'm not sure if it's Judy Niemeyer or somebody else. But I got a girl in my quilt guild. She does them all the time like it's just making a 4-patch. That's how many she's made. It's a lot. Maddie says, T, that's the thing, finishing a quilt. Yes. I can start stuff. I'm checking everything as I'm moving stuff around. I'm also checking like what quilt tops have I done since COVID that I haven't quilted and stuff like that. So I'm trying to pull stuff out that I've started and haven't finished since COVID, because I think what I'm going to do is a lecture that's just going to be my COVID quilts. And so I'm going back through a whole lot of stuff. If you all remember in the video when my machine malfunctioned and I was trying to do those diagonal patterns, I pulled all of that thread out to the last couple of days in that Drunkard's Path quilt. It took me about 12 hours to pull all the thread out of just 1/3 of a quilt. It's crazy. But But I'm just trying to get stuff done. And I don't think I'm going to do that again because I'm not even going to be trying to rip thread for a third time. I think I would like throw that quilt in the trash can. So I'm just going to do some different quilting in the background. Probably freehand quilting just to get it done. So I'm actually looking at everything. I'm going through stuff and stuff is out. And the reason why stuff is out is because if I put it up, it ain't going to happen. So I am trying to work on quilts. And I got that log cabin quilt that needs a border. And then I did another quilt top. I had two. Oh, the one from Laundry Basket Quilts. I never got borders on those. Those were the quilts I showed you all when we were at retreat. So they're still in a bag. I just got the bag sitting there because I still got two quilts that I completed, put binding on my long arm, and never did finish up the tails of the binding on this machine or any regular domestic sewing machine. And I got two quilts in that situation. Another quilt where I'm hand sewing the binding to the back. And so now I'm rethinking, okay, if I'm not going to put this quilt in a show, I think I'm going to be doing bindings all by machine. So I'm going to come in here and put the, sew it down by machine. So it's just a lot. It takes a lot of hours to hand sew binding. And that's why I'm behind on a lot of stuff, because I know I got a hand sew binding and I don't have time for that. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on. So, but I'm getting it done little bit by little bit. Kelly and Quiltigram are talking to each other. A 16 would be a bigger hole in your fabric. C-Rex says, T, you motivated me to get back on my quilting sewing. 64 flying geese. Yes, get it done, girl. That's pretty cool. Cian says, okay, Miss T, I'm convinced with all of you that you've cloned yourself and there are now 6, 8, or 12 of you laughing out loud. Yeah. It's sometimes when I get just real disgusted with the stuff that I'm looking at, I just sit down for like 24 hours and just sit and do nothing. It's just ridiculous. And I've been telling Kevin, I do feel a whole lot better now that I'm moving like the stuff that I know I'm not going to use out. That has made me feel a lot better, but it's just disgusting when you look at stuff and know that you're not going to use it, so why is it here? So I've been trying to keep stuff moving. Either get it done or get rid of it. Cool Gal says, what is the brand of thread you are using? Are you talking about the brand of thread that I'm piecing with? I need a little bit more. I piece with Alex Anderson's thread. It's called Masterpiece. I buy it by the larger spools and I put it on a thread stand. It's a metal thread stand, so it's not bouncing all around. My bobbin thread, I use Orfeel, and I probably won't be buying Orfeel because I think it's the same thickness as what's up here. I'm going to test it out on one of my Bernina bobbins at some point. But I still got Orfeel, so I'm using it at this point. But I think they're the same weight of thread. One is a 2-ply and one is a 3-ply. But when I lay them side by side, they look exactly the same. And the reason why I did that, because before I started using Masterpiece by the spool, I could get more of Orfeel's thread on my bobbin. So I sew a long time now that I got the Bernina extra large bobbins. I sew a long time now before I have to change a bobbin out. It's ridiculous, but I enjoy it. So on my long arm, if you're talking about embroidery thread, no, let's go to embroidery thread. I'm probably one of the few people you will hear say this, but I use Sulky. I know Sulky has gotten a bad rep from companies like Bernina saying that this thread can't run in your machine. But I haven't had any problems. I buy the bigger spools. The Sulkies back here I'm trying to get rid of because now I buy Sulky when I need replacement colors. I buy them in the larger spool. So this is how I'm buying my threads now. And these back here are just old. I mean, all of my thread, when you bind thread, when you like some of those tile seams, you can need about 40 to 50 different threads. And so when you start buying those, you're getting a collection. You got to put it somewhere. And so it's here. And as I'm using those up, I'm not reordering any of the smaller spools. I feel that's the problem when you come over here and trying to do high um, embroidery speed with those little bitty spools, especially these where they're wound really tight. It kinks a lot. And so I'm just not buying those type anymore. So I'm buying the bigger thread spools. But I actually love silky thread. Now I do have some Floriani in here from doing a workshop, and they give out free thread. They give you about 8 to 10 threads. And I also have another company. I can't remember who it is, but I got another company that I've gotten some free thread through by going to a presentation or something. But basically, if I'm buying thread, I have been buying sulky thread. Long arm thread is a permacore or signature. I feel like they're both the same as far as weight. I don't have to do any adjustments on my long arm, and I only use that on the top. I do use a superior bottom line in my bobbin. That's because I can wind more bobbin thread on it, and it makes my bobbins go a little bit longer. So those are basically all the threads that I use. Betsy says, laughing out loud, I am sewing the bindings on 2 of the quilts now. Then I can sit in front of the TV and hand sew the bindings down. Yes. Kathy says, good night, everyone. Have a great night. That was at 9:32. It's 14 minutes late. Good night, Kathy. Thank you for coming. uh, uh, Yep, that floppy disk. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yep. Brenda Foley is here saying hi to everyone. Tiffany says, I use floppy on my old computer. It was like a oldie but goodie. Ha. And they work just fine. That is too funny. Teresa McCormick says, thank you, Miss T. Good night. Good night, Teresa. Thank you. Kelly says, I love seeing young folks looking at floppy disks and trying to figure out what they are. Yes, a lot of things. Even just I remember old dial-up telephones. I don't know if my mom's still here watching, but it was 8 of us kids, and sometimes she couldn't get through on the line because the lines was busy, or we wouldn't click over and answer the other end. She started putting the phone lock inside of the rotary dial, and she put that lock at 1 so you couldn't dial any number. So it was hilarious. But they don't know nothing about that. Yes, indeed. Get new thing of thread. Try a different kind. I had to on my baby lock jazz too. And sometimes like the thread itself could be bad. If your thread is snapping, just make sure that your thread isn't bad. Even if you purchase thread from a store recently, it doesn't mean that it's not bad thread. It could have been on the shelf for 20 years. You just never know how long a piece of thread's been on the shelf. And so I always do that snap test. So that is a great idea, Vicki. Changing threads or seeing if that spool of thread is still any good. Quilt Gal says, Sucky is a good thread. Try one change at a time and maybe help you find the problem. Make sure your needle is all the way up in the machine too. Francis is saying good night all. Good night, Francis. Wash your hands. Says, I use punch cards in college. I feel aged. Yes. And I think like even in 19 something, they still use a lot of punch cards for time clocks, and like especially in restaurants and stuff, they still use time cards, which is so weird. Tananji says, T, wish I had your motivation. I just stare at my projects. No, I'm pulling mine out because I'm like, out of sight, out of mind. I'm going to get them done because it's got to either be done or you got to get out of here. You're taking up space. And if I put it somewhere, like trying to hide it and conceal it, it'll be there another 10 years. So my quilts have been made since some portion of last year. And I have not finished the binding on 2 quilts. That's just absolutely ridiculous. So those are going to be the next 2 things that I do. I am going to be quilting a quilt in the middle of that for a friend. So I'm going to be doing that, and then I'm going to be working on that. So I got a quilt that I just made the binding for that I posted a picture for today. I got to do that. I did not do that today because I was messing around with Kevin and my mom. We had a good time today. Quilt Gal says, Kevin, my 90-year-old father-in-law tried to put a floppy disk in his window of his house and couldn't figure out why it wouldn't stay on his window. Now that's a hoot. Vicky says, I wish I had a friend up by me to quilt with, but nope. We are short on time, T, to list all the projects you and I need to complete. Yeah, I got I got a long project list. Some of it is because I'm a teacher, and then all of a sudden I'll decide, okay, I'm going to finish off this project. Nobody has requested this workshop in 5 years, 10 years. And then soon as I finish that project, guess what somebody requests? That workshop. So I have given up on finishing stuff that's like workshop related. But my problem is that I am a gadget junkie. And so I will start a lot of stuff because I like new projects. I have short attention span sometimes. And so I like new stuff, techniques, different block even. So yeah, I can be a mess. Stephanie says, I need to get with her. Laughing out loud. I can send you my email with my info if she says we can connect. I need to make sure I understand and I'm willing to pay her for her time. I don't know what that's about, Stephanie. I'm confused. If you're wanting to connect with somebody and they're wanting to connect with you, just send me an email. I'm not sure. I'm confused on that one. My favorite is Masterpiece for piecing and Orfield thread. And that's kind of what I'm using a combination of because I was buying Orfield. Well, I guess wholesale because I was buying it by the box, but I haven't bought it in a long time, and I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna re-up that contract or get rid of that contract. And so, yeah, I have just been when it goes out, I'm gonna try Masterpiece. Well, I guess I need to do that before I run out. I need to put Masterpiece in my bobbin, but it looks to me, in my eyes, it looks like that thread is the same size. Orfield and Masterpiece are the same size. So my problem is collecting old sewing machines. They each do something extremely well, so I keep them. Old bench of Singer sews vinyl like a pro. I have one that's perfect only for zippers. Yeah, and I do that too. I had machines that I love to piece on, machines I like to do embroidery on, and machines that I like to free motion quilt on, and I had all of those machines set up to do different things. So I do agree with that. Then I didn't have to waste time trying to find the foot for this to do free motion because I'm not doing free motion on this. I'm doing free motion on something else. Have one that have the walking foot if I need. I hardly ever use the walking foot, by the way, but I had one set up that had the walking foot on it. So yeah, you are correct. I think certain machines, and not by brand per se, but just certain machines like doing certain things better than other machines. So Vicky's got 6 machines. Someone don't want if they don't want it, they give it to her. That's nice. Miss T, I sent you some crochet dish towels. All right. Well, thank you, Amelia. I'll let you know when they come and show them when it comes in. I do some crochet. I have never done crochet to fabric or anything like that. So that's going to be interesting to see. I did I did crochet for a while. I was hooked on it, and then once you kind of stop something, you kind of hard to go back. I stopped, and then I went back and did when they came out with the decorative thread and a regular thread to make like little skinny long scarves. I made those for my family one year for Christmas. And then I also did the scarf where you crochet on your arms. I thought that was really cool. So I like that. I did that. I don't know where that is though. I have to look for that. I really enjoyed it. Let's see. Diane says, my Janome loves thread from Connecting Threads. I can't see a sewing machine going to the dump. Right, Vicky. I'm like that too. Deborah says, I love Sulky too, but I use a mix of different brands and they all work great together. And the nice thing too about Sulky is if you're out of Sulky brand, it's in your local Joann's if you run out and have to have it instead of waiting for some to be delivered. The fastest way you'll probably get some delivered is through Amazon. But yeah, the nice thing is that you can get it right away. I screwed up on my log cabin block and I'm not ripping it out. No way. Sometimes screw ups make a new pattern. Then next time you look up, somebody will have a pattern trying to sell it. So yes, if I miscut something, I just keep going and keep making the same miscut. It's just a new quilt at that point. Cool Guest says, has anyone heard of a treadle machine called Arlington Gem? I have not heard. I wonder if that's what we sold at Diana's estate sale, though, because we had it and then all of a sudden it just disappeared. And it was a different name, but I have not, I can't recall it for you. Let me say that. But I think Diana may have had one. Tiffany is back. Myron Mitchell says, hello, T. How are you? Sheila. Hi, Sheila. I'm fine, doing well. All machines handle sulky just fine. And I did when I got this Bernina, when I test drove it before I purchased, I test drove it and I took sulky thread. I said, I'm taking the brand that nobody wants you to use. If you can't sew it, I don't want it. So I really did. So T says, I can't find your second panel video. I did this. It's called Fusion Spirit. It's the panel quilt that I did. The other panel quilt was done doing it's called Radiant Trifecta. I sold it doing the live chat. So those are the two videos and two panel quilts that I'm referring to. Just for clarity. Cool Gal says, I just brought one from a gal that her great grandmother used and have it at my woodworker. So, and I just bought a machine because I already had the machine, but when I bought the machine, the lady wouldn't give me the accessories. So I went online looking up the accessories and they wanted like $15 for each one of the little cams that went with the machine. And then I found somebody online that was selling the machine for like $75 or somewhere around there. I can't remember now. And so I went and bought her machine because I got all the accessories. It was cheaper for me to buy a second same machine. And I haven't even sold on it. She wasn't sure if it even sold or worked. The one that I do have, I know it works. So I'm going to switch out the foot pedal because she has the original foot pedal, whereas I had one that was modified. It was still an old pedal, but it was an updated pedal. So I'm going to take her pedal and all the accessories and put with my machine. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the other machine that has no accessories. And Cool Guest says that it also came with a wooden cover. That's pretty cool. Deborah has a machine that has like a little rolling opening to it. It's really cute. Probably, oh, okay. This is the last Sunday of the month. I'm thinking it's going to be the first Sunday, but it's not. So that's all the questions. We're at 9:58. So it looks like we're going to be ending at 10 p.m. shortly. And I just want to thank you guys for coming on to the live chat tonight. Appreciate you all spending your time with me on a Saturday night. I have heard of white sewing machines. That's from Linda Pitts. Want to know if anybody has heard of that? Yes, I have. Thank you, Virgie, saying appreciate you, T. So we're going to go ahead and end here. I guess we're going to have an early night off. I might be calling you, Deborah. Don't go to sleep. Deborah Quilts. I think Bonita Nance hit a thing by mistake typing, saying that she had timed out Quiltigram. You won't let me view the deleted message. Maybe you will get some sleep tonight. Yep. Okay. So, let's see. So that's it, guys. You all stay safe, be blessed, and quilt out. See you all Tuesday. Live chat, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Just 1 hour. Good night.